Welcome to Quick Shots, a short format traditional archery podcast, where we introduce you to some of the world's most influential traditional archers, and occasionally, some random dudes.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Quick Shots. I'm your host, Mick Chambers. I'm here with Matt Yacca, 2021 Outdoor National Barebow champion, just off of winning that last weekend. Matt, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. Things have been pretty overwhelming.
I posted on you as soon as it went up on cam. I grabbed it, watched it, the final, you and JD3, and man, when you accepted, you got on that headset, I was like in tears, dude. I was
too. I mean, that was legit. That was real feeling. I mean, it's kind of like, if you're really truly passionate about hunting and you shoot a whitetail or an elk for the first time, and you're putting all that time and effort and energy and scouting and shooting and whatever, and you finally get it and you're like, oh my God, this really happened. That's exactly what it was like for me. Just so overwhelming, crazy.
I was so happy for you. I was just like amazing. I was disappointed for John.
I was too.
John. I was disappointed for John, obviously. I mean those that but you're both right there. You both should be really happy, no matter what the outcome of that was. Anyone that can get up in front of, with that level of pressure, that much stress on your body, and perform to the level that you guys did, I'm just.
Yeah. The one factor, aside from the pressure of shooting, there's cameras everywhere, photographers, people in the stands, it's live on Facebook with Cam, those guys are doing that. But, the one thing you don't get or see or feel in those types of tournaments is the temperature. Literally. So we were out there from 8:20, we started shooting. This is 93 degrees. The humidity this week was, I can't even explain the humidity. Everything in our room was wet. It was just wet. And we were exhausted. There's no food. There's no water. There's no food truck. So it's like whatever you bring in your backpack, or a cooler, if you have one, that's all you have with you. And so we were all of us, we're out there for 8 hours. We're starving. We're thirsty. And the environment alone, like I said, the heat, the humidity, you're just out there for so long, you're just exhausted. You're spent. Even John, when we were sitting behind, waiting to go shoot, he's like, dude, I'm just so spent. I'm like, yeah, you and me both. We're dying out here, but it's just physically taxing.
Yeah. And then, so do you think that helped you though? To calm down? No. It's like, how you wait for so long to do something, and you're just like, let's get this over with. And
what happened, it was crazy. I'm still so new to this. This was my first time making it this far, obviously winning, but making it this far down the road, that I thought when I was shooting with Frank, because he and I had a shoot off, I was like, he's like, all right, you won. And I'm like, yeah, sweet, I got the bronze. He's like, no, dude. He goes, you're going to gold medal match. And I'm like, no, you won. I was like, no, that can't be. I said, I must not have been paying attention to the way the brackets actually worked. But when it ended, Frank and I did our shoot off, and he's like, no, you're going to gold medal match. And I'm like, I was like, right then and there, I'm like, what, dude? This can't happen. I don't know what the hell to do. So, but then you just flow with it. And then we sat there for 2 hours. From there on, we're sitting there for 2 hours. So you get to kind of cool down. And I don't know how many times I went up to John and was like, dude, what do we do? I don't know what to do. I've never been here. I don't know what to do. He's like, well, he kind of ran me through it. He's been there 100 times, And I think that eased us up. It was just the time sitting there, I wasn't really nervous once we got up there, And then when he shot the 4, well, forget it. Then I was like, oh, yeah.
Did you see that? Were you able to see it?
I could see it if I wanted to see it. I just, the way it works is we get up there and he gets to choose shoot first or second. And he said he was going to shoot first, which I knew he was going to do. And I was on target 2, so my back is to him. And he shot his first arrow, and all I heard was, all these. I I heard all these groans. I don't know what he shot. I didn't hear a number. And I can see his target down there, but I was like, just don't even look at his target. And I didn't. And then we just played the game from there.
Just an analysis of that shoot, and I'm not a very good archer, but just from looking at the two of you guys, like literally I felt like he was rushing the whole time and not in his regular rhythm. And then you look calm, you came back to full draw. You had great execution on all of your shots. It looked like.
I told him from the start, I was like, dude, I'm not expecting to beat you. I was like, I just don't want to make myself look like a fool up there. I might just shoot all my arrows into the ground, call it good. Let's get the hell out of here. I'm stoked that I was just there to take second place. Like, let's just go home. We'll get it over with. We know you're going to, I even told him, I said, we know you're going to win. I just don't want to look like an ass up there.
Oh my God. See, mental games. You're playing mental games with them. You're like an old timer.
That was just my true feelings. Like, I'm like, how am I going to beat this guy? I shot with him all week, and there was no comparison. If you saw the scores, if anyone was watching the scores, he was 70 points ahead of me.
Yeah.
And then from me through, I don't know, 8th place, we were all like 10 points apart.
I mean, it's just like, in a different league. I mean, you're awesome, but you did a great job. You were the one who was the coolest on that day. But those are the rules, man. Those are the rules. So
yeah, you never know you never like look at Brady Ellison in the Olympics. Like,
that's right.
You never know with head-to-head stuff. You can lose to a 30th place person and you're at first seed.
Yeah,
you just never know.
It's kind of funny, actually. John was on the show just before you. He was the show before you, and he was saying, "I don't like that format." Just like, I don't like. He's saying exactly what you're saying. I'm like,
that's just the way it goes, head to head. I mean, in reality, a lot of luck played into that. He told me just a few minutes ago, like before he was on the show with you, he's like, honest, I did my hardest, and you got what you got, and you beat my ass. That's it. And I still think
he was on the show like a week ago or something like that.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
anyway.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but I know go out to the CAM website, pump this freaking video up. The Barebow men and Barebow women. When I look at the videos, when you go to the CAM website or the CAM YouTube site, whoever's listening, go there and watch it 10, 15 times. I don't care. Send it to everyone, because we want to beat the compound guys in terms of numbers on the CAM website. We're already, your video is already higher rated than the recurve.
Yeah, it's a lot. I have a lot of friends that shoot most of my people I shoot with here are compound shooters. There's no one around that shoots recurve with me, or like my wife. That's it, Julie. And I think a lot of my friends that are compound shooters are the same. They're watching it over and over again. They're like, dude, this is crazy. I know exactly what's going to happen, but I'm on the edge of my seat. What the hell's going to happen?
No, dude, I know. I was crazy, man. It was nuts. Hey, man, let's go back. Because who are you? And tell us how you get into single string archery, man. Let's go back to the beginning. What's your origin story?
Okay, wait. I'll tell my story with an image.
Okay, I love this.
Here's my first single string bow. I still have it. I got it in probably 1984 from like my 14th birthday or something.
Nice. What is that thing, man?
This is an original Oneida Eagle.
Oneida, yeah.
And this was my first single string bow. I mean, technically it's, I guess, a single string bow, but I got it for my 14th birthday when I had to kind of prove to my dad that I was really into archery, and I was spending a lot of time shooting, and I kept getting hand-me-down stuff from either he or my brother or cousins or whatever. But I guess my first single string bow I got when I was about 3. It was like a yellow fiberglass. I think it was called a Sun Bear. It had painted arrows, and my dad and brother and cousins would go shooting, and they go, no, you can't go. This is for the big kids. And from this big, even to this day, you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to be like, I got to do that. Right. And so I had that bow for I don't know, 5 years or so. Then I got my brother's hand-me-down. He had like a little bear cub. It was a wood bow. It was probably like, I don't know, 35 inches long. And I shot that, moving up. And then as I got older, of course, compound bows. So I was born in 72, and you figure the 80s age compound bows were really coming into what they really are today in a way. And I was shooting an Indian. So Indian was an archery company, and I probably had 2 Indian compound bows. And, back then they were like the pulley attached to the limb, like hard mounted with steel. Yeah. And then I went to, I shot those bows, honest, for probably 2 years, just at my yard at 5 yards in my backyard. I grew up in New York City.
Oh, okay.
So there's nowhere to shoot. I mean, I shot in the yard. And then I shot that bow a whole bunch, and I was really getting into it. I had an older cousin that lived in New Jersey, and I kind of wanted to emulate what he was doing and be like him. And just, he was just a cool cousin, And then, like I said, probably about my 14th birthday, I got this Oneida Eagle. And then I shot that for about 4 or 5 years. And then I got a Hoyt. I went to a Hoyt, a compound bow. But that whole time I was always looking at trad bows, like going, those are so cool. Like, that's the real way. Like, I have an old spirit, like an old soul. Like, I'm always in plaid. Like, I always wear like a goofy hat. And you look at pictures of Fred Bear and all those guys, from years ago and how they dressed. I love to dress that way. And I always had that connection with that time and with that era. And I got my first longbow. It probably had to be in the early 90s. And it was a big mistake. I was shooting my Hoyt compound bow. It was 65 or 70 pounds. And I got an ASL. I won't say the name or who. And I got it at probably 60 pounds. Listen, awesome. If you're a new archer, don't do that. And if you're coming from compound and you want to go into, traditional archery, don't think you're going to be shooting the same weight. It's not even a thing.
Yeah.
So I actually had that bow for some time, and I shot heavy cedar arrows with it. Again, it was an ASL, so it's pretty hard to shoot as it is. And it forced me into snap shooting because it's hard to hold. It's, heavy. And then when you shoot it, it's like, it's jarring. And I kept that bow for some time. I would bet I sold that bow in 1998 or something like that. And then I was like, I'm not doing trad stuff anymore. Like, it wasn't comfortable.
Yeah, it was not fun.
Not fun. It wasn't comfortable.
Yeah.
And so at that time I bought another Hoyt compound bow, but I still, again, had that. I was like, I gotta be in this trad thing. Like, I just love wood. I love wood bows, love the single string, love the traditional archery thing. And I went, and there used to be a place in Colorado Springs called Bob's Archery. It's not there anymore, but he was pretty popular for many, many years before RMS Gear and all these guys out here, wherever. And I went there, and he sold me a pronghorn. Now, Herb Mealand is up in Casper, Wyoming, which is not terribly far from us, but Bob was like, this is the Cadillac of bows and whatever. And when I started shooting them, and I fell in love with it. And it was way different, like shooting a 3-piece longbow compared to an ASL, and of a much lighter weight. Not much lighter, still shooting a heavyweight, but the comfort of shooting that 3-piece longbow was way different, completely different. And I still did a lot of snap shooting, but that's all we knew. Like, I learned from a Paul Brunner video. I learned how to shoot from a Paul Brunner video. He's like, just point it, draw back, and shoot. Just point, And that's, I was like, okay. And it wasn't adding up. Like, I'm pointing my arrow at a target, and it's going way high into the left. And I'm like, so I had to figure out how to gap and understand that. And you just kind of ingrain bad habits if you don't have proper instruction. And I was just flinging arrows, and I did that for many years. And as the years went on, I was like, if I really want to be proficient at shooting a longbow or recurve, I need to sell my compound bows, because you'd always go back.
Right.
I'd always want to go back and like drill tens, like just shoot my compound bow. And I'm like, I can do this perfectly out to whatever, 60 yards. You can't do that with a longbow or recurve. And so anyway, I sold all my compounds except that one, which I've had since I was a kid. And I was like, I'm just going to dedicate 100%. That was about 2002. Dedicate 100% into trad archery. And then I just started buying bows like crazy, as you can see behind me, buying, collecting. And so, the commitment has to come in. Like if you're especially going from compound shooting to recurve a longbow, you really can't keep your compound bows. You'll always go back to them. Like you'll always be like, oh, but look what I can do with this bow. And yes, you can probably do a lot better with a compound bow, but the fun isn't there. You know, the challenge isn't there. The fun isn't there. And that's what it's all about for me, is just that fun and that challenge and just the nostalgia of a trad bow or a single string bow.
Yeah, dude, you're like a little kid. I love it. Your enthusiasm for archery and single string, it's just like, I mean, it's stronger than mine, and I'm like enthusiastic like crazy. I love this shit.
No, you have no idea. It's like, it's just, I eat, sleep, breathe, dream, think. Everything's archery to me. Everything.
I think some people are going to be upset at me. The people that are watching it, they're going to be upset at me if I don't ask you about the bows behind you.
Okay.
So take me, just can you name them all?
Yeah. What's here? Yeah. I mean,
show me your favorite. Well, yeah, show me around if you could. That'd be awesome.
All right.
So
there's more to this. There's stuff upstairs. There's stuff in the other room, but this is just what I keep in this corner because I have no other space. But like, there's my Hoyts and my CD. I made this one here.
Nice.
Jared Marinelli of Journeyman Archery. He doesn't produce bows anymore, but he's in Michigan. Really good friend of mine. He makes me a bow every couple of years, and he made that one there, and he made those two there, and that one in the corner. I don't know what you can see. I don't know.
I can see it all.
Yeah. And then, all right. So wait, let me do this, and then. Obviously Java Man. I have Elkhart here. I have one Elkhart. I have a pretty rare one. This is a pronghorn Herb made for me. It's an all Cocobolo and Osage.
That's awesome.
He wrote on it, one of a kind. He said he had this piece of Cocobolo for I think 25 or 6 years before he made it. And this is a ferret. So people that know Herb know he makes a recurve. This is it. Herb does not like to make recurves.
Okay.
That's one of them. We have two Mountain Monarchs. This one's Julie's. This is my wife's. We had this.
Pretty.
So I have two Mountain Monarchs, and I got them both by doing the St. Jude auction that Trad Gang does. This one was from last year, and she picked it out. I was like, I already had one, so I was like, you pick one you want to do and design it. And this is California Buckeye Burl, and that he stabilizes. You know, he adds color to all the stabilized woods if you want. So he made this, and she calls it the Bahama bow because it kind of is reminiscent of the water in the Bahamas.
Oh.
And you know, California Buckeye Burl is just gorgeous wood.
Bow, man. Beautiful bow.
Gorgeous wood. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, collector's items. Probably this is my favorite bow. This is something I coveted for. I've wanted one of these since I knew what a self bow was. And this is a Torges fire stick. So Dean Torges, who died a couple years ago, very well-known self bow maker and bamboo backed bow maker. This is one of his bows, and it's a fire stick. It's Osage. It's like a true collector's item.
Yeah, that's great.
And then I got this another one recently, and this is a Schultz American longbow. Yeah, bamboo backed. Another. I don't shoot these bows. I don't shoot this at all, nor that Torges bow. I might shoot it this year if I take it hunting. This is an old favorite, and again, bamboo backed, and
it's gorgeous. What's the weight on that?
This one is 49 at 27. Okay. So a lot of those bows, I don't know how familiar you are. They're a lot of the draw lengths are on the short side. You rarely see them like 28, 29. You always see them like 26, 27, maybe even shorter. He did that. He did a series of bows prior to his death a couple years ago. He did, I think, 12 bows, and he called it the Parting Shot series. And they auctioned them off, and it didn't work. And then they put them on another auction site. And I bid on them. The bidding was going fairly high, like into the close. I think some went over for $2,000.
Wow.
And I tried to get one, and I was beat out by someone and never got it. But this I got as a gift from a buddy of mine who I've been friends with for years from our Fort Collins archery range. He's been the president for years, and his dad has got dementia currently, and he's not doing real well. And I knew he had the bow, and he's like, Matt, he goes, I know you want this. My dad probably would have wanted you to have it. So he goes, here, take it. He goes, my kids don't want it. He's like, I can't shoot it. So just take it. He gave it to me as a gift. It's a true blessing of a gift.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I can go on and on, dude. I got Super D's. I have an Impala Supreme.
I know what do you, how about this? Can you tell us what you're shooting now and what you won with?
So yeah, I shoot the bows that Jared made for me. So probably this one I'll shoot this year. I'll probably hunt with this one. This is one of the ones Jared made for me. Again, Journeyman Archery, and I got Myrtle veneers on that. Myrtle's pretty sweet. Like, I'm a big fan of Myrtle. Myrtle's got like so many different like fingerprints to it. Like, here's another Myrtle. Let me see where to go.
So
here's another.
Yeah.
This is a Kanadi. You can see the Myrtle on it. It's got like,
yeah,
it looks like spots almost.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing, dude. Those are amazing.
Yeah, this one's kind of just spalted in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got tons of this crap, dude. But yeah, so Jared, the Journeyman Archery.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous works of art, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's what it is to me. It's just like works of art, just
that's some amazing craftsmanship right there. And I wish people are listening to this, man. You guys see the video on YouTube, because this is a treat.
Yeah. So this again, Jared Marinelli made this bow for me. I call this the burn bow. So last year in Colorado, we had a lot of fires. We had a ton of fires.
Yeah.
And it ruined our hunting. And at least where I live in northern Colorado, we got smoked out. I mean, I am 50 miles from where the fires truly were, and we had ash landing in our yard. I mean, just the way the wind blows. And so Jared came out last year and he brought me this bow. And I think this is just whatever action wood is turned into, or there's another name for it now. Action wood, or gosh, I can't think of what it's called right now. But it's just essentially compressed laminated maple, I think. And it's just got some cool, but it looks like it's burned.
Oh yeah.
It's got that look about it. Like when we were in the woods.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Yeah, you can lay it down and lose it because it just looked like it's burned. And then I went on to, and they're just brown limbs, but I went, do you know who One Stringer is? He's got like, you can get limb, like these limb stations, overlays. He calls.
Yeah.
It's just stick on. So I just got like a rattlesnake, or, this is a gray copperhead.
That's really cool, dude.
Just kind of fun.
It's fun. It's cool, man. It's really neat.
Yeah.
When you hunt, so first of all, let's talk about hunting for a second, but I want to talk about the bow that you used to win this weekend. So can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yep.
Arrows, what your setup was, all that stuff.
Yep. Hoyt Exceed. I have two of these. I have a black one and an orange one, and Julie was shooting the black one. 25-inch riser, Velos limbs, 42 pounds. I have the weight in there.
Mm-hmm.
I have a sniper rest drop away, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
And a biter plunger. And I was shooting out of this Easton X10s. And Easton X10s are not really affordable for me. Other people can afford them. I can't.
Yeah.
They run about $500 a dozen retail.
Jeepers
Once you
creepers.
fletch them, put your knock pins in them. Your knock pins and the knock alone are $3. The shafts run about $40 something, and the points run about $30 something. And if you go tungsten, the tungsten points are $100. Oh no, more than that. Depending on Anthony from Short Shot Archery is now selling tungsten points, and I think he's got a price point of about $100. But I was shooting stainless steel, and they're like $35. So you're looking at like $50 an arrow. It's ridiculous. And I only got them from as a hand-me-down from Justin Hewish, who I'm blessed to have become friends with. And he, like I said, he hooked me up with those. And when I was shooting Olympic recurve, this is the exact setup I was shooting. Just had stabilizer bar and my sight.
Right. What's that grip on your bow there?
I do have a Jaeger grip on there, Jaeger, however you want to say it.
Nice.
And this one is it's a little higher. It's the Jinsu O grip,
Nice.
which a lot of people don't really like, but for some reason I like it. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice setup, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations again. It was perfect setup. Perfect setup. Hey,
Yeah,
so let's talk a little bit about hunting since you brought it up.
Okay.
You're gonna be hunting this season?
So no, well, I'm gonna deer hunt this season. My focus this year was solely on Target Nationals. And I knew I'd be spending a lot of time shooting to practice for that. Whereas in the past years, I would spend days and hours of scouting and e-scouting and trying to figure out where we're going to go hunt elk and where we're going to go hunt mule deer and when are we going to do that. And so I took my focus away from hunting this year and put it all into Target. So I do have a deer tag for this year, and I'll kind of do the weekend warrior thing. And then there's a place I can go hunt during the week, which is not too far away. And I'll go do that. But bow hunting is not going to happen for me this year. All Target.
Well, it's good. I mean, it paid off. You got to make it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you got to make a commitment. You made the right one. You did the right thing.
You really have to pick and choose your focus. Like, it's funny around here, guys are like, why are you doing that? Like, this is a hunting community. Like, is all hunting. Very few Target guys around here. So, but I was like, you know what? I just put a lot of time into hunting, and most of the time, all the time, it gets us nowhere. You're spending a lot of time bow hiking. You're walking around the woods with your bow, which is good for me. But yeah,
I take my bow for a walk.
That's exactly what we do. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's just amazing. I mean, help me out. What's a piece of advice you got for me? I mean, give me a piece of advice that you think that someone could just pick up right away and just be, hey man, this actually works. This is something really good from a champion. Advice from a champion. Don't
go out like, all right, let's give the number one piece of advice I'd give anyone wanting to shoot a recurve or longbow. Don't get too heavy of a bow.
Okay.
Start with 35 pounds, 30, 35 or 40. Understand it. Learn the feel, learn what a shot's supposed to feel like, look like. Don't overbow yourself. Don't, even for hunting. People go crazy with some of the draw weights I hear about, and I'm like, how are you shooting that thing? But from I guess if you're already the fundamentals, you have a foundation.
So I'm going to time out there for just a second. You're a personal trainer, or you're a trainer?
I am.
So this is not just advice from an archer. This is advice from a trainer, right? Because when you overbow yourself, you're messing your body up too a little bit.
You can totally mess your body up, but from a shooting standpoint, you're not going to get the quality shot out of it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're just overbowing yourself, it's just not going to happen. You're never going to be You're not never going to be accurate. It's going to be hard for you to be accurate. It's going to be hard for you to have the proper shot. It's just not going to happen, so don't overbow yourself.
Okay.
And then when you're practicing, especially if, guys that are out there already competing, like with us, when you take a shot, I think the biggest benefit that I have toward myself is I am hyper aware of my body, how it feels, what it feels like, what the shot felt like, and I don't go out willy-nilly flinging arrows. And my wife would say, well, I don't do that either, but I watch her. And I'm like, it's kind of like you're willy-nilly flinging arrows, So be really aware of your shot. Feel like, understand what it's like to get into your posterior delt, like the back of your shoulder, understand what it's like what back tension is, what the bow arm should look like, what it should feel like. Be aware of it. Don't just draw the arrow back and take the shot. There's so much to it. Like, what's the hand pressure like? And then the idea is you want to become what I would like refer to as like, you're competent about what you're doing, but it's just happening. Like, you know what's happening, but you're not really conscious of it. So like unconscious competence.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're competent, but you don't have to think about every little thing. You have to think about where your feet are. You don't have to think about your hand placement or your fingers on the string. You just do those things unconsciously, but competently.
Okay.
So be aware of your shot sequence.
And that sounds real advanced to me, honestly, because you have to get that shot process down, do it a million times like you do, and then you get to that automatic stage.
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you have to be like consciously uncompetent or incompetent, where you have to, okay, I grab my string here, I put my hand here, I move my body like this. Like, you have to be very aware of that shot sequence at first, but then you get to the point where, like, you don't think of your feet. I don't think of where my feet are on the floor. I don't think of how I'm quite grabbing the string or where my hand position is. I don't pay attention to those things anymore. Now I pay attention to, what is my release going to look like? What is that going to feel like? So all the other stuff can go away, and I can focus on either what I need to work on for me or to make my shot happen.
Yeah, that's good advice, man. Did you take on some coaching at all? Have you ever done it? Just self-taught? That's amazing.
No, I've talked to coaches. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, I've talked to coaches here and there, and
sure,
we banter information. I'm a coach. I've gotten the NTS certification. But I know level 4 coaches that don't even pick up bows. Like, they've never even shot a recurve bow, or they don't even shoot, but they're level 4s giving advice out. I'm like, you don't even know what it's like to be in this. Like, how give advice? It's crazy. When I see that, but here I am, a level 2, but I really truly have immersed myself in the shot sequence, and I get it. Like, I understand it.
Yeah, it looks great. Your shot looks great and smooth, and it was tested under pressure and it came through. And that's that's what's important, right, man?
Yeah.
Otherwise, shooting in the backyard means shit. Like,
right.
It's great, but if it's not pressure tested, it's tough, man. You got to be.
And so here's another thing. It's funny. I watched the video from that Competition Archery Media put on. I watched it like 4 times, and watching the shot, that's not my shot, right? So when we shoot, whether it's in practice on our own or in play, like on during the qualification rounds, I have a feeling I know what my shot looks like because I've recorded it. Like, I know what that looks like. But then when I was watching myself shoot, like, I could see my hand going back and I'm touching my shot. I never do that.
Yeah,
that's not a me thing. So It's obviously the pressure of whether it's the audience or the cameras or what we're doing changes your shot. So some things you truly have to keep together to get through the process, because otherwise, like, I was looking at that, I'm like, that's not what I look like when I shoot. Like, I don't do this. I don't shoot high. I had 8s, like high 8s. That's not a me.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't do that. Like, I shoot left. I'm a left shooter. I'll be in line with the yellow. I bet the whole weekend, out of I don't know how many arrows we shot, I bet I had 2 arrows that were high in the red. And then when we did that shoot off, I had like 6 arrows in the high 8. That's just not a match shot. That's not how I shoot.
I still think that but all that being said, it's your shot process, the amount of time you've spent putting practice in. And yes, even if things go wrong, they go a little wrong because you're trained and you're pressure tested. Whereas like if it were me, if something went wrong, I would be looking for my arrows at the, in front of the bail. So I totally get that. I think just it's the difference between a champion and, an amateur is like when you make a mistake, it's this big. When we make mistakes, it's all over the place. But yeah, hey man, talk to me about Godzilla. What's this thing with Godzilla? What's going on, Mattzilla? What is all this about?
I'm a huge Godzilla fan. Like I don't necessarily love monster movies, but I grew up in the 70s, 80s, and they would be on TV, and like my dad would be like, hey, every Thanksgiving, like King Kong is on. It was on every Thanksgiving for many years. And I loved watching King Kong, Son of Kong, Mighty Joe Young. Like we would sit there and get glued to those. And to this day, every Thanksgiving, I have the DVD. We put it in and I watch those movies. And same with Godzilla. Like I grew up, they would come on, like a Saturday or a Sunday, and we'd be up like just my brother and I just watching Godzilla movies. And I just became a huge fan of Godzilla over the years. Same with Jaws. Like I'm the biggest Jaws fan. I watched that movie like way too many times but they're just fun. Like
they're fun. They're good. They're interesting. Then they make you young too. I mean, I guess it triggers something in your mind for being, that age. I think we're very similar in age. I look a lot younger, but I'm older actually.
I didn't do my makeup.
So anyway, no, but I loved Ultraman growing up.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Didn't get because I grew up on the other side of the border in Canada, and so we barely got it. Like we didn't get any. So, but anyway, anytime Ultraman was on, I'd watch it, and Godzilla was on that too. And there's Mothra and all those other ones. I loved it. Love that stuff, man.
Oh yeah, and even Guyver, if you know what that was, the Guyver, that was another one. There's so many that in those whole.
I know, fantastic.
That whole like franchise, but yeah, always fun stuff. And so it was funny. My buddy Dan from Denver, before we went out to shoot that match with Demmer, he goes, "Listen, you're Godzilla, and Demmer is Tokyo." just squat. So it's become kind of like a funny. Now we got a little hashtag going on. Demmer is Tokyo.
Demmer is Tokyo.
Run with it.
That's funny.
Everyone watching. Demmer is Tokyo.
Demmer is Tokyo. Oh my God.
So
I can just hear Blue Oyster Cult in the back. I can hear Blue Oyster Cult in the back of my head. There goes Tokyo.
Godzilla.
Go Godzilla. Dude, that's pretty awesome. Hey man, if people want to see you, talk to you, say hi to you, congratulate you, where do they find you on social media?
So on Instagram, it's just my name, Matt Yacca, Mattyyacca, and same on Facebook. I don't really do the Facebook thing much. I don't get too wrapped up in that. I'll go on there because I like to read other people's stuff or see what's going on. So much of archery that's just on Facebook. Like I would normally do, like I'd be on the leather wall quite a bit, like just reading posts and going on there, but I haven't been on there in quite some time either. I've been trying to work a little bit more toward Facebook just to see the people I play with, right? And see what they're doing and what they're up to.
Yeah. Okay. All right, man. So hey everyone, thanks for sticking around and listening to Matt and tell us amazing stories and show an amazing bow wall. Really appreciate you coming on, brother. And thank you so much, and congratulations. Great job.
No, thank you for having me. And I appreciate everyone's congratulations. And people have been, and my phone hasn't stopped. My wife's like, get out of your phone. I'm like, I'm just trying to be respectful and respond to people, like emails, texts, messages. Thank you, everyone. It's been so nice.
Soak this in, brother. Soak it in. You deserve it.
It's hard.
Soak it in, dude.
I'm not used to it. So it's
single string hero. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. And we'll talk to everyone next time. Take care.
Thank you.